Hey guys, and welcome to the next Python tutorial video. This video we're actually going to go over the for loop. In one of the previous videos we went over the while loop, and the while loop is kind of like, hey, keep doing this over and over again until a certain condition is met. The for loop's very, very similar. It's pretty much the same, and you can kind of use them interchangeably, although there are certain reasons you would want to use a for loop over a while loop and vice versa. So I'll kind of go ahead and show you a for loop right now and explain how it works and when you should use a while loop and when you should use a for loop. So the for loop, let's see how we want to set this up. So let's see, for I in range 5, print I. Okay, so there's a few new things in this. So the for loop, what this is, you start it with the word for, and that says, all right, so we're going to create a variable called I. That's what this I is for. So we're making a for loop, and for this for loop, this is kind of a temporary variable that's created for doing this loop. It'll make sense in a second. And then this is kind of a very Pythonic way to do a for loop. So in range 5, print I. This in range 5, what this does, if you notice, this is like a keyword. It's purple, and it has parentheses, so it's a built-in Python function. So there's a built-in Python function called range, and we pass in a number. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 10. It doesn't matter. What this does is it returns a list. So when the interpreter gets here, it's actually going to replace this with a list of 10 values. And what it does is it goes in that list and grabs each thing and runs this code on each one of those things in the list. So you can think of it like, once it executes this code, it says for I in range 10, that range 10 gets, well, actually we'll do this. Just pretend it's a I in range 3. So range 3 actually gets converted into this. Remember we did lists, and it's going to look like this. So for I in, and the in just means, hey, grab each one of these things and execute, grab each of these things and assign it to the variable I, and then run each one of these pieces of code. So it's going to say print I. The first time it prints it, I gets assigned 0 and it prints 0. The second time I gets assigned 1 and it prints 1. The third time I is going to grab 2, so I equals 2, and then it prints 2. So if we run this, save it. So 0, 1, 2. So you see how this worked, and I didn't even use range. Range is just kind of a shortcut way to do it. You don't really want to make a list of a bunch of values. You just want to go range and then type in, like if I want it to do something 10 times, you would do for I in range 10, and it's going to do whatever you want this code to do. It will do it 10 times. You don't have to print I. I'm just putting that here to like test it out and show you things. But so yeah, for I in range 10, print whatever I equals at this current moment in time. So you would do a while loop, you would do a for loop if you have like a set number of times you want to do something. For I in range 3, like I want it to do this thing 3 times. Like I know exactly I want to do it 3 times. A while loop you would use if something's like indeterminate, like you don't know how many times you want it to do it. Kind of like our last program we just did, where the user had to keep guessing. You don't know how many guesses they're going to get. They're just going to keep guessing the number until they get it right. So because we don't know how many guesses they were going to take in that program that we made, you would use a while loop, because they would keep guessing until the answer was correct. So that's kind of why you'd use a while loop and why you would use a for loop. We'll use while loops and for loops a lot more. They're real common. We're going to use them a lot more in future videos. The next video, I think I'm going to go over lists again, but we'll get more in depth with them, and I'll show you how to like add stuff to lists, remove stuff from lists, and how to manipulate them. So I'll see you guys in the next video.